Hey guys, Alayna here, and today I'm going to be ranking the roller coasters of Carowinds. However, I did not ride 3 roller coasters there. I was not able to ride Nighthawk, which was closed for the entire day. I did not ride Wilderness Run, which looked like a very tame kiddie coaster that I decided to not waste my time on and ride other roller coasters. And finally, I did not ride Flying Cobras because I actually ended up throwing up at the end of the day. I was pretty sick when I went. Didn't have COVID though, don't worry, we did a test. And I didn't want to take a chance riding a roller coaster that has inversions while going backwards, and I couldn't handle that probably. So let's get into the list. Beware, there are a few unpopular opinions. Number 11, we have Kitty Hawk. This Kitty Vekoma suspended coaster was nothing really special. It was running one train ops. Surprisingly, this was one of the longest waits of the day, and I really don't know why. I got very back row, and there was so much head banging there. It was so painful. And if this is a newer Vekoma suspended coaster, I'm scared to see how bad the head banging on the bigger SLCs are. Oh, jeez. Alright. First possible unpopular opinion is Hurler. Hurler was honestly so boring, rough, and slow. I rode this later in the day, and it was so boring. I just sat there blank-faced during all the drops and twists and turns while all the kids and their parents were screaming their heads off. And I know that not a lot of people like it, but I really hated it. RMC, please come quick and do the same thing that you guys did to the other Hurler at King's Dominion. This coaster needs it. Number 9, Woodstock Express. Please don't attack me in the comments. I had more fun on a kiddie wooden roller coaster than a larger scale wooden roller coaster. There were only buzz bars and minimal seatbelts, and even though I was a little cramped, I still had a fun time. I just got off smiling because even though it was a super tame ride, it was still relatively smooth and an overall fun ride. It's kind of like the Iron Dragon effect with me. Number 8, Ricochet. This was the first roller coaster I rode at Carowinds because it usually gets long lines later on in the day, and it surprisingly had some good whip to it. I was being yanked around each turn and through the drops, and I really liked the dips and turns of this, and since I was in a car all alone, I was saying to myself the entire time, man, why is this actually pretty decent? But anyways, it was pretty good. Number 7, we have Carolina Gold Rusher. The operations really need to work. I was standing in the fast lane queue for 10 minutes, and I was the only one in the fast lane queue, and they weren't saying, the ops weren't saying anything to the fast lane queue or the normal queue to move forward and get into the queue, the actual station queues. And as soon as the next train came, we all just loaded in, everyone who was able to, and this was definitely not worth the wait, but I still did it for the credit, and it was fairly decent. My favorite part had to be the tunnel, though. It was alright. Not as good as Cedar Creek Mine Ride, in my opinion. Number 6, Carolina Cyclone. Yes, I have an aero looper just barely missing my top 5 at the park. Don't hate me. But honestly, this ride was super fun. I got decent airtime on the drop, and since my mom and I had the entire train to ourselves, it was very quiet, which was calming. The loops were pretty fun, the vertical loops, but the corkscrews did have a little headbanging. I think my mom got it worse, though. Number 5. Okay. For the boys who watch my channel, I am so sorry. Vortex is actually super fun. I didn't feel any pain down where... Well, okay. But I was a little concerned going into it because it's notorious for being a bad and rough ride. I was even telling my parents, oh geez, it's Vortex, I'm gonna hate this. It's definitely gonna hurt later. But no, it honestly didn't hurt at all. There was no headbanging and it wasn't rough. I mean, I am a girl saying this, so But overall, though, this isn't the best B&M out there, but it's still really fun. Don't hate me, guys, please. Number 4, we have Afterburn. I was really split between 4 and 3, but this B&M invert is flat out amazing. That drop, the trenches, and the bat wing, oh my gosh. I couldn't get enough of it. It was just so good. I rode near the back, and it was so snappy and fast-paced. It was a really good ride that if I got more rides on this and Raptor to judge, I could see this being my favorite invert, other than Montu, maybe. We'll see. Number 3, Intimidator. This was my first B&M Hyper, and this was the last ride of the day for me, and while waiting for our train to come, someone threw up on the train that was just about to start its course. So it took a little while before they cleaned it up, and then it was back on track. Get it? And after that one cycle, it was my turn, and the drop was amazing. I was in the back, though. And I honestly think the trims were off, so we got a fun ride with some pretty decent floater airtime. The ending is pretty weak, though. Okay, number 2, Copperhead Strike. Oh my gosh, that hang time is absolutely amazing. The JoJo roll out of the station was honestly one of my favorite parts. And the entire time I was saying like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And the boy next to me looked so confused. It was both our first time riding it, and it didn't disappoint. The launches were better than I expected for a mock launch, and they aren't the best, but they're still pretty good for what they are. And every time we went through an inversion, it seemed like we were just dangling there. I also got some good ejector, and it was an amazing number 2 at the park. Alright, so we made it to number 1. I wonder what it could be. You know what? I think I'm going to be unique here, unlike almost everyone else, and say Fury 325. I don't think anyone has said that's their number 1 here. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Absolutely amazing. That drop goes on for eternity. And I was out of my seat the entire time, and even though I was towards the back, I still felt insane speed. And after going over the walkway to the entrance, I entered the treble clef turnaround and went into the hive dive. I personally really liked that element. And when we went through the rest of the elements, even though there wasn't as much airtime as I thought, when I did get some, I got some pretty decent moments of it. And the B&M clamshells were great, and let's just say I was in shock. That's all I'm going to say about Fury, because there is a review coming soon for this ride. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did end up enjoying, then please like and subscribe. If you haven't been to Carowinds yet, you definitely need to. It was an amazing atmosphere that was beautiful and so much fun, even though I threw up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.